Let's talk about a force that's probably shaping your team's performance right now, whether you realize it or not. It's called the Pygmalion Effect, and it's all about how your own expectations can literally create your team's reality.
So, if you're a manager, you've definitely asked yourself this question. You look across your team, some people are just on fire, they're crushing it, and others just seem stuck. They're not hitting their stride. So, what is going on there?
But what if I told you the answer has less to do with their talent or their motivation, and a whole lot more to do with you? Yeah, what if you're the variable that's creating these two different outcomes? That brings us to what we're calling the unseen force. We're about to pull back the curtain on this hidden dynamic that's at play every single day in the workplace.
And that force? It's the Pygmalion Effect. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly powerful. The higher the expectations you have for someone, the better they're going to perform. It's like your belief in them becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So, how does this actually work? I mean, it's not magic, right? Nope, it's a very real psychological cycle. Let's break down exactly how this self-fulfilling prophecy gets rolling. It all happens in this four-step loop. See, it starts with your beliefs about another person. Then, those beliefs drive your actions toward them. In turn, your actions start to shape their beliefs about themselves. And finally, their new self-belief changes their actions, which, you guessed it, circles right back and confirms your original belief about them. It's a powerful feedback loop. To really see this in action, let's play out a scenario. Imagine you've got two new hires, Chris and Joe, starting on your team on the same day. Okay, so right from the get-go, you've got this unconscious bias. Chris, for whatever reason, just reminds you of a rock star employee you used to work with. So in your head, he's got high potential. But Joe kind of reminds you of that annoying guy from college. So your expectation for him is, well, pretty low. That's step one. Your belief is locked in. Now watch how that belief changes your actions. With Chris, you're all in. You give him the tough projects, you offer detailed, constructive feedback, you spend extra time mentoring him. But with Joe, he's practically invisible. You give him vague feedback, you don't really invest any time, and honestly, you get a little annoyed when he makes a mistake, instead of seeing it as a chance to coach. And you can imagine what this does to them internally. Chris feels appreciated, he feels seen, he thinks, wow, my boss believes in me, so he starts to really believe in himself. But Joe just feels your impatience. He starts to think, I guess I'm just not cut out for this, and his confidence just plummets.
And here it is, the final step where the prophecy comes true. Chris, buzzing with confidence, gives it his all, and his performance skyrockets. Joe, feeling defeated, just disengages. He does the bare minimum and his performance flatlines. And you, the manager, look at them and think, see, I knew it. My gut was right all along. You just created two completely different outcomes.
Now, this might sound like a neat little workplace story, but you might be thinking, is this for real? Well, it's absolutely backed by some incredible scientific research. Let's dig into the science here. This whole phenomenon is also known as the Rosenthal experiment, and it's named after the Harvard researcher who uncovered it, Robert Rosenthal. So in one famous study, researchers told students that some lab rats were maze smart and others were maze dumb. Here's the kicker, the rats were all identical. And the results were wild. The smart rats learned the mazes way faster, just because the students expected them to. Rosenthal then did this with students, telling teachers that certain kids, who were actually chosen at random, were academic bloomers poised for success. By the end of the year, those exact students showed real, significant gains in their IQ scores. Rosenthal himself put it perfectly with this quote. He said, "When we expect certain behaviors of others, we are likely to act in ways that make the expected behavior more likely to occur. In other words, we unconsciously steer people toward the outcome we already have in our heads." So the big question is, how do you make this work for you instead of against you? How do you use this to lift your entire team up? Let's get practical and build a leadership playbook. Okay, you can consciously build a positive cycle. First, set high but achievable expectations for every single person. That's the clearest signal that you believe in them. Then, invest your time in coaching in everyone, not just your favorites. When somebody makes a mistake, treat it like a lesson, not a failure. Give them specific, constructive feedback. Push everyone to get better. And finally, make sure you show appreciation for the effort, for the hard work, not just the final results. And this right here is the absolute key. You are probably already doing all of this for your Chris, for your star player. You know how to be a great manager. The real challenge and the huge opportunity is to consciously apply that same high-level coaching to everyone on your team. That's how you build a culture where everyone feels they have a real shot at success. All right, this brings us to our final and maybe most important part. It's time to turn the mirror on ourselves for a minute. So I want you to pause and really think about this for a second. Who is the Chris on your team, the person you naturally pour your energy into? And more importantly, who is the Joe? And once you have that name in your head, ask yourself the really tough question: why? Look, the point isn't to judge yourself. It's about awareness. Because becoming aware of these biases is the very first step to unlocking the potential of your entire team.